Welcome back to the now third episode in this recovery series. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support on the last video. You guys absolutely smashed the like button. So keep doing that. Keep doing that. Let me know you want more. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. I do have a couple of ideas floating around. It's just more about timing than anything. So definitely hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button because I'm definitely going to be posting more content coming up and you guys are going to want to see this. This is just the beginning, really. So it's only going to get more exciting from here. So without further ado, let's get into this routine. It's also very important that I preface this routine by mentioning that I am currently non-weight bearing. So none of these exercises will bear any weight through your recovering bone. That is if you're having leg lengthening on your femur. These are non-weight bearing. So that's really important because if I was to do weight bearing exercises, I could potentially snap my leg in half again. So yeah, let's not do that. Let's play it smart and play the long game. So the first exercise we have here is the supine hip flexor stretch, which I also just call the hip extension off bedside. Obviously, as you can see, I've raised my right leg up here on the bed, and then I drop my left leg off to the side, leaving that to hang for about 15 seconds. And you do get a bit of tension in your hip and your quads while doing this, but that's exactly what we want. We're trying to engage our core for more stability, strengthen our hip joint, and also strengthen the quads all at once. So this exercise does a great job of that, and it's really letting gravity do all the work, which is my favorite part. By now, obviously, the second exercise coming up is the clamshell exercise. This mainly is targeting the glutes, mainly my side glute and the main glute, but also a bit of focus on hip abduction and a bit of hip rotation as well. So this is another great exercise, another non-weight bearing exercise that we can add in here. Obviously, this next one is a very famous exercise. We're doing the prone hamstring curls. Obviously, these mainly work the hamstrings, the rear of your femur, which is really important when you're trying to recover that whole leg, especially while I'm immobile. So that's also keeping my knee flexion in check as well. But yeah, very, very basic, very solid exercise. Now we get into the standing exercises to kind of break up the sitting, and the first standing exercise being the standing hip abduction, which is primarily targeting my glute or my middle glute and my hip flexor, and also a bit on the quads as well, or the front of them, more to speak. It also works the outer hip and thigh. This is really to improve some strength, get some more stability and balance for standing on, one leg. Well, it's going to be helpful when I'm standing on two as well, but it's the main thing is so I can support myself no matter which leg I'm standing on is the idea. And for the second exercise, we're obviously doing the standing hip extensions. And these work not so much they do work your glutes, but more so your gluteus maximus, so your rear glutes, not so much your side glutes. And definitely also your hamstrings as well. Your hamstrings aren't getting any work on those abductions. So this is also for more backward leg movement, just keeping that strength for when I can start walking again. This supports my hip extension, my glutes, hamstrings. Yeah, both these standing exercises are great, to say the least. So firstly, we're doing the supine heel slides. These work the hip and thigh muscles like your quads and hamstrings, also working your core. And I definitely feel a big stretch at the top of my knee with this one. And that may be because of the angle I'm bending it at, maybe due to the immobility around my leg in general. But this is definitely just to keep that strength there. It's mainly just to strengthen, improve the range of motion in my knees and hips without putting any weights on it, basically, and also keeping my back stable. And then this second exercise is the active hip flexion, which is where I pull the knee to my chest, basically. It strengthens lots of muscles at the front of your hips, and focuses mainly on controlling the movement from being fully flat-legged up to the knee up to your chest. This is really good for people who have running pain as well. Lots of other lower back pain issues, stuff like that. Because these muscles are really often quite neglected. So yeah, this is these two great exercises for this. So for this second last one, we're doing a knee extension, which most of you probably know as a leg extension. It's the exact same thing. I'm just sitting and then pushing my foot out as far as it can go and straightening my leg. This is a great exercise for strengthening the quads and is the main exercise I use to strengthen my quads and was even before the crash. So great exercise, very, very basic. Yeah. And our lucky last exercise is probably the hardest one I have to do, which is the straight leg raise. So this primarily targets the quads and the hips. I'll first have to squeeze the thigh muscle and extend the knee fully and then lift the whole leg up. And I'm only holding it for about 1 second at the moment. That's all I'm programmed to do, and that's all I can actually really do strength-wise until I start walking again. So yeah, it's primarily targeting the quads, your hip flexors as well. So, and especially those front hip muscles that are pulling up the leg. So yeah, that wraps up the non-weight bearing routine. So with that routine all wrapped up now, I can provide you guys the update I got from my doctor yesterday. So on screen right now, I'm going to put up a couple of x-rays. The first one being the giant gap where the lengthening is happening. And I'm going to point out here on screen, you can see there's these little strands of bone starting to connect from either edge, which is great. That means we're progressing well. And the second reason we got this lengthening surgery was to inadvertently and hopefully promote growth in this second set of x-rays, right? So you can see this image here. There's a very clean break. There's no grayness or muddiness at all, which means there's no fluid. So it was a very clean break. And you compare it to today's or yesterday's image, I should say, and it's starting to grey out. And same with the main image there. They're both starting to fill up, and you can see there's bone starting to form. So that is very exciting. It has only been 8 weeks. So that just goes to show how slow this process is. But it's definitely going to be worth it when I'm able to walk again and get all my routine, my life back, really, you know? So yeah, make sure to look out for the next video. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. And peace out.